Hi, everyone. On the 25th of this month, Neptune perfects its square with the nodal axis. So I've been speaking a lot about this square. It's been happening for several months, and it'll continue as it moves beyond the square for some time now. But the actual alignment of the square is just a couple weeks away. So it's worth giving this some attention. And I'm going to share this with a story. There was once a town, very small, peaceful, quiet town, just on the outskirts of a big city. And one night there was a big snowstorm. The snow covered the streets, the driveways, everything was covered with snow. This one man wakes up in the morning, puts his socks on, gets his clothing on. He's all warm and snuggled. He opens the window and sees the snow, and he's like, oh my God, this is great. So he decides to take a walk in the snow. He puts some plastic bags over his socks, puts his shoes on, and takes a walk. He's just enjoying the serenity and the peace of the snow, noticing how everything feels the same, how quieting it is to not know where the driveways begin and where the roads begin. There's a certain feeling of peacefulness that is sort of rare that he's just appreciating and enjoying. At some point, he begins to hear a faint whisper. It sounds like a scream coming from a distance. Help me! Help me! He's listening. Help me! Help me! He's trying to find where the sound's coming from. As he's searching, it gets louder and louder and louder. Help me! Help me! And he realizes there's a woman trapped in her car, and she's really cold. She's shivering, and she's asking for help. And immediately, he calls for help. He says, help! There's a woman trapped in her car. We need everyone to come out with shovels and help this woman ASAP. Someone bring shovels. Someone bring blankets. And people come out with their shovels, and everyone's working together to get her out. We get her out. She's covered in a blanket, and they take her to the closest neighbor. Everyone's on the same team. Doesn't matter who this woman is, doesn't matter who you are. Everyone's here together to support this individual that needed help. And so they go to this home, and this one person who lives there makes some tea, gives her a nice space to sit on the couch, turns the heat up, and she's getting warmer and relaxing and just settling into the safety and the comfort of this present moment. And so they're chatting, and at some point, someone asks this lady, so what do you do? What's your job? And she says, oh, I work for Planned Parenthood. I am a pro-choice advocate. And the man that saved her immediately starts to feel uncomfortable. He's like, oh, one of those. Okay. And he's just going to be polite and humor her and, doesn't want to make it political, but he kind of feels himself a little bit disappointed. And at some point, someone asks, so what do you do? What do you do when you're not saving people from cars? And he says, actually, I'm a pro-life advocate, and I have my own organization. And yeah, I've been really busy recently, just doing a lot of activism and work on protesting the recent elections. And and boy, man, that insurrection sure was great, wasn't it? And immediately this woman is like, oh my God, I can't believe he's saying that. People died. I can't believe this guy is who he is, and he has all these beliefs and these views. This is so uncomfortable. I'm just gonna be kind and polite to him, but I don't want to have any interaction with this guy. And so as they're interacting with each other, there's sort of a mutual growing sense of, okay, I'm not really interested in this person, but obviously be polite, be kind. And, I look forward to when I can kind of leave, because this is sort of uncomfortable for me. What's going on there? There's a certain innocence and truth in the fact that there was no judgment, no discrimination, for the recognition of our shared humanity, a being in need, people coming together to support this being. And gradually, identity came in. Gradually, belief, stance, opinion, point of view, political stance, outlook, perspective. All these things came in. And ego, identity says, ooh, that's wrong, or that's dangerous, or that's unsafe. That's uncomfortable. I don't like being around that. I really disagree with that. And attention moves more and more towards different. And what's really sad about this, maybe they're kind and polite and they move on. But what's sad is there's a certain love and recognition of one another that was occluded and accidentally lost the moment minds began to give attention to its identification with its beliefs and its differences. It's interesting how in a situation like this, when a person is in a car, it doesn't matter what their political stance is or what their view is or how much it differs from your strongly held views. Without any of that coming into the picture, there's just this natural impulse to care, to serve, to support. And yet so many people can watch the news. Think about bad things happening to people that you disagree with. It doesn't matter what your views are. Every human being in some way can relate to, oh, good, I really don't like those people. I really can't stand that, or I really disagree with that. And how much distance, how much of an it, how much of a them blanket, I don't see you, reality can encroach in the heart, where we're no longer looking at one another from the innocence of our shared unity, from our shared oneness, and the innocence of the truth, which just recognizes a sameness, that just recognizes the calling for care and respect, always unconditionally. The accident is where we allow differences in views, opinions, perspectives, stances, ideas of what's true, ideas of what's not true, to actually interrupt the love that we are. So this is a very important reflection when we look at Neptune squaring the nodal axis in Gemini and Sagittarius. This is a very awake dynamic right now. How many times have we had the experience of talking to someone and then they express some sort of outlook or point of view that we think is completely wacky or deluded or wrong, and we're then uncomfortable with them, or we have to sort of argue with it, or we don't want to associate with them? That's not natural. We don't have to be on the same political party. We don't have to agree and do the same kinds of things together. But there's a certain fabric of appreciation and friendliness that's inherent. Always, regardless of differences. With the ruler of the South Node in Sag being Jupiter in Aquarius right now, squared by Mars in Taurus, the thing to really look out for is where we double down on our stance and we become violent about it. If we live in a way that polarizes one another and sort of shoves the I don't know what the word is, just like pushes the I'm right, you're wrong energy, it forms temporarily a sense of security, because we're going to have the people that see it the way that we see it. We're going to have people that share the same view and the same outlook, and that will make us feel secure and that we're valid. We have to remember that within the Aquarius realm, it's always about recognizing all of the community, all of the characters of this world are actually components of our own psyche. They live inside of us. So it's a wonderful practice right now to see where our edge of open-mindedness is. What if we know it's true, there's less and less of a need to defend it, because the truth stands by itself. The truth stands alone. It's its own entity. It doesn't require protection, doesn't require defense. And so the more we know the truth, interestingly, the less there is a need to prove it. And that's always a sign that the truth that we know actually resonates with universal law. When the truth that we know is a strongly held belief, requires debate, proving, it's actually usually a sign that there is maybe a little bit of tension in our minds, that at some point we set up shop in the process of realization. Reminder, today is the last day before we begin the Essentials course. So if you're feeling that curiosity, really been considering it, feel if this is a part of your path. You can learn more about it and sign up in the link below.